Dqaa field activities. Next slide. Outline. Administrative supervision and community entrance. Coverage monitoring on tab for Dqaa. Systematic field check. Run-through of flagged EAs. Daily report generation. Device troubleshooting. These are 7 activities the Dqaa will be performing during the field work, during the field process. They will be, providing administrative supervision and community entrance, coverage monitoring on tab for Dqaa, systematic field check, consulting of flagged EAs. They'll be doing all this during field work, and doing also producing daily reports generation, device troubleshooting. So during field administrative supervision and community entrance, it says a Dqaa consists as a data quality assurance assistance area consists of 3 to 5 supervisory areas, meaning that one Dqaa will be, supervising, um, will be in charge of 5 supervisors, 3 to 5 supervisors, a minimum of 3 supervisors and a maximum of 5 supervisors. It says the following, and then it says the following are expected of him or her during field activities. A data quality assurance assistant coordinates census activities in a data quality assurance assistant area, Dqaa. The Dqaa coordinates, well, this is not correct. It's supposed to be the Dqaa coordinates census activities in 3 to 5 essays. It monitors activities of supervisors in the assigned Dqaa. He facilitates community entry protocol in the Dqaa. He addressed boundary issues in the Dqaa. He received instructions from LGA coordinator and FDQM and communicates to the supervisor. So the first one, he coordinates census activities in 3 to 5. So, yeah, the DQ data quality assurance assistant is in charge for a minimum of 3 to 5 essays. He coordinates all activities, census activities that happen in those areas. He's in charge, and then he instructs. He receives instruction from the LGA coordinator and then FDQM, and then he communicates this to the 3 or 5 supervisors working with him. So he monitors activities of these supervisors in his area of assignment, and then he facilitates community entry protocol. People were worried that why, some people were asking questions why um, DQAA assurance assistants are now involved in community protocol. Of course, because you're in charge of 5 supervisory areas, you can't just finish training and then sit back in the LGA or whatever, uh, you find your accommodation and then allow the supervisors and the administrators to go to field, then get go and set up everything for you before you just come in and swoop in and start taking care of. No, you start the process, the census activity from the beginning to the end. You start the management from the beginning. You handle every process from community entry. You go in with them, make sure it organizes everything, make sure that everybody is ready, that the community receives the functionaries, and then if there is any issues, you'll be reporting immediately to the LGA coordinator and the FDQM. But if you're not on the field and then this supervisors now encounters these issues, they'll now start calling you. Before you now start calling contacting the coordinator and FDQM, this issue, the communication line now has uh, 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 sorry. Okay. Yeah. It's taking much time. Time has been wasted getting the problem and the solution back to the supervisors. So that will what I mean. Next. So on based on coverage monitoring on the tab for the DQAA, as you can see here, this feature has been added to, excuse me, This feature was is now in census part, and this is where the team coverage and progress is being monitored by the supervisor, even the enumerators and the data quality assurance assistant. So in the team coverage progress, the DQAA can view all buildings listed by the enumerators. Building information is shown, including the name of the enumerator who verified the building and the date it was verified. DQAA can also view remarks made by the FDQM on the EA, mark this EA. He can also mark the EA as completed, which will show all buildings that are residential, institutional, but without households. For enumerators to go back and correct and also launch re-interview. So the DQA through using his own PDA, when he opens it, he can also he can say the view remarks button, and then he can also say the mark this EA completed button. Then also he'll be able to see all the buildings, both residential, institutional, but that are without households, you know, if any buildings, any residential building or institutional buildings that have been submitted by the enumerators and they do not have household, the DQA will be able to see it and then um, contact the enumerators to go back and correct it. And also, he can also launch re-interview, just to re-interview on any household, any EA that he wants to test, randomly select. So this is an example. When he opens up an EA, this is what he would say. Like for instance, this building number 2 is an institutional building and then with 0 household. So this EA is not complete, and this DQAA is supposed to like contact um, the enumerator or the supervisor who is handling this essay to inform the enumerator to go back and make sure he completely adds the household inside these institutional buildings or residential buildings. Systematic field check. The DQAA tracks commencement of buildings, building numbering, and household listing. He also tracks progress of building numbering and household listing. In addition, he randomly selects buildings in EA for quality consistency. So one of the functions of the DQAA is to just perform random checks. It doesn't have to wait for the FDQM to send in flagged EAs, because from the very first day when work has commenced, he's required to just start, doing some random checks on buildings or from EAs just to check for consistency. It doesn't have to wait until they finish the EA and submit the EA for him to start checking and then identifying those issues. It becomes too late to start giving correction or any corrections to the numerator. So he does that. He does systematic field check on his PDA, just randomly select any EA building and then conducts re-interview um, on those buildings. Grant-routing of flagged EAs. The automatic validation is initiated on the DQM's dashboard after completion and signed off by supervisor and DQAA. The FDQM checks the validation status of each EA and communicates the flagged EAs in each DQAA to the DQAA. So a once an EA is marked completed by the supervisor and data quality assurance assistant, it goes to the FDQM, it goes to our DQM dashboard, and once you enter the automatic validation process is initiated. And then once the FDQM checks the validation status of that EA, he or she will communicates flagged EAs, in each data quality assurance assistant area to the data quality assurance assistant. So, in a sense, the DQA then conducts first level checks on. Okay, the DQA conducts first level check on flagged EAs and communicates status to FDQM. um, FDQM clears EAs that has consistency with validation report and passes the EA. So once the EA is flagged, the DQAA goes to the EA and conducts first level checks on those EAs by visiting the buildings that were that were selected by the system, and then reports back the findings he got from those EA from those buildings. So, and when the FDQM now checks and then finds consistency with reports with what the DQAA reports and the numerator, he or she can then decides to pass the EA. FDQM instructs so the next one, FDCAM instructs for enumerators to make corrections on inconsistent EA. So, but whereby the DQAA conducts the check, and then there were inconsistencies. His was much has its acceptable parameters than the enumerators. The enumerators um, report. The FDQM now will now instruct the enumerators to make corrections on inconsistent area. But yeah, if it says FDQM, also the DQA can still contact the enumerators or the supervisors to make corrections on those inconsistent EA. So the DQA assists and guide enumerators to fetch and correct flag EAs. Then after they fetched and correct the flagged EAs and synchronize to the completed EAs to the cloud, the FDQM proceeds to pass the EA. Once the dashboard validates it. Note the DQA must be vigilant and watch out for flag EAs so that necessary correction can be quick and effective. So the DQAs are advised to keep checking on their PDAs and watch out for flagged EAs. They keep checking their EPAs and be checking FDQM remarks. They don't have to wait for the FDQM to call and inform them ahead of time about flagged EAs. So they need to keep checking, consistent checking, occasionally check their PDA for FDQM remarks. Daily report generation. The following reports will be submitted every day by the DQA to the LGA FC, which means LGA field coordinator and the FDQM. The first report, a report on commencement and progress of building numbering and household listing will be generated, will be submitted by the DQA to the field coordinator and the FDQM. A synchronization report also will be sent by the DQA to the field coordinator. He will probably he gets the total number of EAs that has been successfully synchronized by the enumerators supervisory area, and then sends the report to the LGA and LGA field coordinator and FDQM. The DQAO is also required to send a validation report of completed EAs. So he gets this information. The gets this information from the supervisor. Supervisors then who are the supervisors and enumerators. The supervisors and enumerators who are required to consistently, constantly check their team coverage and team progress and coverage area of the census part to find if and check on the FDQM remark area um, to find out if EAs has been flagged or if the EAs has been flagged or has passed validation. So, or the total number of flagged EAs and the total number of validated EAs will be collected from these enumerators and then sent to the FDQM and LGF connector. And then the DQ will also be required to send report on gratuiting of flagged EAs when he has completed his when an EA is flagged and he has gone to check the flag buildings, reported buildings by the dashboard. He's required to back send the feedback, report on the status, the result of what the data he collected from the field. Um, so and then a DQA also is also required to send the mission progress report. So every day to the LGA field connector and the Device troubleshooting. Troubleshooting simply involves the process of identifying, isolating, and resolving a software or hardware-related fault within a PDA. The DQA provides technical support and guidance to enumerators and supervisors to improve data quality. The DQA is expected to be a step ahead of enumerators and supervisors in troubleshooting skills. He helps to solve basic technical issues on the field where the problem is beyond the technical ability of the DQA. Sure should be referred to the FDQM. So the DQA, we've been trying to train you guys on some of the troubleshooting techniques that, simple troubleshooting techniques that you can run on the field for issues, for issues that the enumerators usually encounter in the field. So you are required to know these troubleshooting skills on your fingertips because you'll be providing technical support and guidance to enumerators and supervisors in the field. And yeah, you should be able to know, by this, you should be able to know how to identify a problem and, identify a problem a PDA is having and then try resolving the fault. But if everything you tried, everything you've tried has proved abortive and unfruitful, you're now required to call your data quality manager and then report on um, report on the issues of the PDA. So it's very important that when you're doing that, that you be technical about it. Tell the DQM what the problem, the issues PDA is having, what you have done, and then what you believe might be the issues. So it will be very helpful, and it will be very helpful that you be very straight and straightforward to know, like saying um, the PDA is not coming on. That is you've tried to push the on button, but it's not coming on. Nothing is coming on the screen. Now you've not decided to use a power bank to power it on. It's not coming, and yet nothing shows on the screen. You've tried multiple USB. You've tried multiple USB cable to power it on to check if is a USB is the issue, and then you tested that same USB on another tablet to make sure that it's not the USB that now you are suspecting either the power port, the charging port is bad, or the software is the PDA, the software has been damaged. Very straightforward. That way, the DQN will be able to know how to provide solution immediately. But it is different if you now just say, hello, sir, this video no dey work. Oh. We just dey blank. I don't push on button, push on button. Nothing they happen. I don't know anything they hurry am. Oh. That one is not helping anybody when you do that. So please be technical about it. Learn all the troubleshooting techniques that will taught you, and then try to implement it on the field. Here are some practice questions. How many essays make up a DQA? So question supposed to be how many essays make up a DQAAA, Data Quality Assurance Assistant area, which the answer is supposed to be 3 to 5 essays. What are the ways of a data quality assurance can be notified or flagged EAs by call and then by checking the DQM remark area of team coverage and you know team coverage area. Where is the census part? Where in the census part can the DQM monitor team coverage and progress report? Isn't it's the team coverage and progress report area. After building numbering and household listing, I hope this is household listing, but here is written household listing. The DQA can leave the field and go back home. True or false? False. Conclusion. It is crucial to understand the various roles and responsibilities of the DQA while the field activity is going on. He or she is the quality assurance officer as well as the field technical officer. The success of the field exercise depends on his or her promptness, technical ability, and availability. Thank you. You count. Be counted.